Folks, welcome to a very special episode of Fitpod today. And like we did a special episode on occupied Palestine, I think this is a perfect continuation of that episode. Today we are going to be talking about crisis in the region, and we have a very special friend of mine in the studio. His name's Feraz Younis, and he is the founder and the director of UCF, Ummah Care Foundation. And these guys are on the ground in Gaza, working, providing hot meals in a very dangerous situation. But before we get to Gaza and the situation and how they're dealing with it, I wanna introduce him, and he's going to tell us the other work that they've done in the past, and not just in Gaza. Faz, welcome to Fitpod, where we normally talk about health, fitness, and nutrition. But as a little platform I have, I think it was my duty to bring you on and explain to the viewers what you are all about and the crisis that is happening in Gaza at the moment, because you have been there, you've seen it all, and it's a first-hand experience. And I know I haven't asked you any questions at the moment, because that sense of reality when you hear something for the first time, that reaction wouldn't have been the same if I was doing it again. So before we get into Gaza, tell us a bit about yourself. How did you start? How did you get into the whole charity organizations, and what made you think that, you know what, this is the route I'm going to take?
Nasa, firstly, thank you for having me today at Fitpod, and I'm glad that we're not talking about fitness, because that wouldn't fit me in at all. So regarding the work, Alhamdulillah, UCF Ummah Care Foundation was founded in 2013 by myself.
Yeah.
Originally, we wanted to arrange a small orphanage in Pakistan. My father had a house, a derelict building that wasn't doing nothing. So the idea came that we should arrange something and to convert the whole house into an orphanage, run the orphanage from there. Started from there, and the very first project was Gaza. Now that you're asking, 2014. So we raised money for Gaza, and it was the very first thing we ever did in 2014. And we've been actively working in Gaza since 2014.
Wow.
We'll come back to Gaza, and other than Gaza, then after that we did the refugee crisis. We did Nepal earthquake in 2015 also. Mm-hmm. We were there with Qatar, QRC, Qatar Red Crescent, working on the ground, medical camps in many areas of Nepal. Then we had the Iraq, Mosul war in 2016. And while we were doing this, then we set up a kitchen here in 2017 as well. We've got Unite for Homeless that runs here. We were doing a feed every Sunday before the COVID. During the COVID, we started serving food parcels. We were working alongside Birmingham City Council for domestic violence, DV, on many ways, and providing food and daily like breakfast, lunch and dinner for these ladies and these men that were in hotels accommodated by Birmingham City Council. In COVID, we were, I think, distributing more than 350 food parcels per week. In COVID,
I remember, because there was a lot of hype on it on Facebook, and your direct messages to me as well. Yeah, where when people were just too scared to go out. Yeah, you boys were out there just delivering, and it wasn't only in
Birmingham. Like we did Birmingham, we did Burton, we did Derby,
it was the
Nottingham, within the West Midlands. We covered the West Midlands in many areas, and mostly like to the vulnerable people, like the elderly that were very scared to come out. We were providing food parcels. Then we had many people that had disabilities, that had many issues. That just to get shopping, we were also providing shopping. We were going out there. They were paying us. We were doing their shopping for them. Wow. Just generally helping out people in COVID, and it was very difficult. We worked throughout the whole of COVID. So we run UCF Ummah Care Foundation in the UK. We run Community Relief Foundation, which I'm also the founder of in the UK. And then you have Unite for Homeless.
Beautiful.
This is what we're doing. So we have quite a few projects that are moving forward. We have a project in the UK for the the double-decker bus.
Yes.
So taking on this double-decker bus, I still haven't managed to pick it up. It's still sitting in Wales. I bought it when they had MOT. Since then it's run out MOT, and the idea was to pick it up and arrange the ground floor as a kitchen.
Yeah.
And the top floor as a seating area, so we can go to different locations. We've got a mutual dealing with Morrison's and Smalley that we could park it there and serve from there, and many other locations where we could just park up, serve hot meals to anybody that required a meal, and then move on to a different area.
That's beautiful.
So we'll be
That's
one of the
just
first,
like a mobile kitchen.
Yeah, we'll be
just
one of the
driving
first
around.
organizations, hopefully, to do this as a double-decker bus charity, serving hot meals.
That's lovely.
So
man.
that's what we're trying to do here.
Something no one's ever even thought of that.
Yeah, a lot of people have said that like nobody's in this. Like, hopefully, well, if I get it on the road and moving, we will be the first.
If you
to
need
do this.
a driver, let me know. I always wanted to drive a double decker bus.
Me too. I did it as soon as the
I don't
day
have
I
a
bought
license
it.
for it,
No,
but
me neither. So, the day I bought
that's why
it,
it's parked.
yeah. That's why it's parked. The day I bought it, we were in the ground. It's like a yard he had, and I was like, "Listen, I'll pay you the money. Can I just drive?" He said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Just show me how to drive this bus. I just want to go forward and back. That's all I want to do." But yeah, since then I've left it there in Wales. He's contacted me a few times, and now we're going to get the MOT done. I did want it up and running for Christmas. We do a lot of Christmas outreach as well. We go out in the city centre. Last year we were provided meals with Langar Aid, I think, in the Grand Central. We did that, and we do a lot of reach out on Christmas Eve, and then on Boxing Day we have a group of volunteers that come out and we go to the homeless, make sure they're warm. If they've had a warm hot meal, there's Birmingham shelter that we help with as well.
Can we do like a hotel on wheels? You've got the kitchen on wheels.
I don't know about that. I don't know what uses it'll come to, but
We go park up somewhere. People are homeless. They come and have a warm night.
But you have warm shelters for this. I'm looking into warm shelters. So
do they?
What we're trying to do with that, it is a good question. What we're trying to do is we're trying to have certain locations where we can make warm shelters where people can come in, warm themselves up for a little while, so at least they've got somewhere warm to go. That's something in the pipeline.
Basic necessities like water.
Yeah. Shower. They can come in, have a shower. It's all going to be safeguarded, obviously, within reason and safeguarded and protected. But that is something that we're looking at. St. Basil's is doing this on a very small scale. We've been working with St. Basil's, and they're very good with the homeless. And they're doing this on a small scale, but this is something that is in the pipeline that we're looking at. So it won't be mobile. We're not that advanced, but it will be
Well, if
some
you can
form
have
of
a
shelter.
kitchen on wheels, I'm sure you can.
Kitchen on wheels, yeah, that can work. That's quite easy to do.
That's your double decker bus. Kitchen on wheels, technically.
And then get another double decker bus and put beds in there.
Yeah.
No idea.
It's something to think about. I don't know. I just put that out there. Just come to my head.
No idea. Yeah.
You
But
can
yeah,
park
warm
it somewhere.
shelters. That's something definitely that we're looking at.
That'll be good.
So since then, the NASA, like the local projects, we've continued the local projects for here, and this is all through donations. We're not an organisation that's received any grants to do this. We worked alongside with Acorns Hospice. We do a lot of work with Acorns Hospice.
Yeah, and you've just
in
done
COVID as well.
You've just done a fundraiser for Gaza as well with the farmhouse.
Farmhouse, yeah,
They
that
done
was
really
so good.
good,
There's a
so-
lot of people that are involved. People are fine. I think now that I've seen so many years, and it's been 10 years. I've been out every single month since June 2014. Every single month I've been out this country. The only time I wasn't out of the country was in September, October, and November 2017. Other than that, I've been out every single month now for 9 years.
Wow.
So,
And is that because you do it by yourself?
it's like it's become an addiction. I'll tell you what's happened here.
Because you know what it is. There was a discussion that I had with a friend of mine. Because a lot of this, this whole idea of having lavish, charity organizations and, the CEOs and all of that stuff, they have lavish lifestyles. They pay so much money to themselves and, they've got huge buildings, big fancy cars. Where does all the money come from? The admin cost or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And what's
See,
how does that side of your organization is? Because I was saying no. I know Faz.
Yeah,
he goes out himself. Yes, of course, everyone needs a wage.
No,
there's no doubt.
Let me explain to you, Nasa.
So that
I'll
was
tell
the
you
question.
what happened here. 2017.
Yeah.
No, sorry. Not 2017. 2007.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking a long time ago now.
A very long time ago.
I used to work at McDonald's in Paradise Forum.
Okay.
In town.
On the ramp.
On the ramp.
Yeah.
Now, father used to pick me up. When they used to pick me up, I used to get the bus home. 19 pence, 20 pence bus fare.
Mm-hmm.
Long time ago now, yeah? 1997, sorry. I'm talking about 1997. Not
I was thinking 2007.
1997 I'm talking about, sorry, my fault. I'm not that old, I'm actually exposing my age at the moment, but 1997, I used to work at McDonald's.
Mm-hmm.
One of the days I left McDonald's and a guy came to me and he asked me for food. I had around about £2 and something, and I had about 3 more days left to come to work and back from Flyer Road, Smalley. That's where I used to live.
Yeah.
Number 17 from Green Lane used to go to the city centre.
Yeah.
Now, I said, look, I haven't got enough, so I walked away. I walked away and I thought to myself, he didn't ask me for money. He asked me for food. Yeah. So I've gone back to this guy, held him, and I said, look, come, I'll get you some food. So I took him back to McDonald's Paradise Forum where I work. Didn't get any discount there. Manager was not the best of managers. But anyway, got him a meal, left, thought nothing of it. The rest of the days I walked because I had no bus fare and I wasn't going to tell my dad that I've spent all my money before the end of the month. So I walked from Paradise Forum to home, Flyer Road, and from Flyer Road back to Paradise Forum for work. When I received my wage, they used to in the brown envelope. You used to get a brown envelope with your wage, receive my wage, and there's £75 extra in this brown envelope. Now, I've gone back to Tom. Tom was the manager, white shirt, McDonald's. I said to Tom, I said, look, you've given me extra, like more than my wage. So he laughed at my face. Firstly, if there's anybody else, they wouldn't have come back to me and said this. You know, you're stupid for saying it.
Yeah.
If you've got extra money, I said, look, but it's not mine. You know, he said, you received a bonus this month. Now, I didn't do anything, not that I know of, to receive a bonus, but it just clicked to me that one guy that stopped and asked me for food. From that day onwards, it clicked that the only way of living life is to serve the needs of others and do good for others, and good will come to you. That was 1997. And since that day, I've never said no to anybody when it comes to food.
I just offered you food and you said no?
No, I don't say no when it comes to me providing you food. No, when taking it. Allah give me a giving hand always.
Yeah.
Taking is a different
That's
source.
good, yeah.
And it's been like that, and alhamdulillah. And Allah has blessed me so much in my life. You know, I feel like I'm the most happiest man living. I don't have any problems or issues, and I feel it's this way because, look, I've always said it's easy living for yourself. You can do anything. You can have all the luxuries in the world for yourself. But the actual need is when you're living for your life for the needs of others. You're trying to make others' lives easier, like trying to put smiles on people's faces. This is the actual meaning of life. Because when it comes to it, at the end, God is the one that's going to make a final decision for you.
Yeah.
So why not serve the people of God? Do people good for the people of God, and your job's going to get done in the end anyway.
100%.
So these were the reasons why I set up the charity. It wasn't to make money. It wasn't to gain fame out of it. I seen that there was a gap. I seen that there was a lot of money that was raised, and then you had all of these admin fees. I studied into charities how many admin fees they should charge, overheads. I don't like it, and I came in and I said, look, alhamdulillah, Allah's made me self-sufficient. I took on trustees that were self-sufficient. Haji Tarak is one of the trustees. He owns a steel company, Metpro. We have Mia Zulfikar Saab, he's a trustee. He's a real estate agent himself, alhamdulillah.
Somebody
none of us trustees
rely on.
Yeah, and you've got Anna, she's a head teacher at school. So none of us trustees need to rely on anything from the charity.
Yeah.
So whatever we source from the charity, we will spend exactly where it needs to be spent.
Yeah.
I said this, you mentioned Farmhouse the other day. I said, alhamdulillah, we are one of the organizations that has never sponsored an ad on any social media platform. We're one of the organizations that doesn't have an office, has never had an office. Yeah, and we're one of the organizations that doesn't run by overheads or has been on any TV channels or any marketing and spent anything on marketing.
Yeah.
But alhamdulillah, we're today recognized by people by the work. The work speaks for itself. So it's not been a lavish life. You know, when you're talking about lavish and first class flights, I take a bus from Digbert coach station to Stansted, and I take a Pegasus airline from Stansted to Turkey. That's one of the budget airlines that I use. I even use that same airline from Turkey to Karachi to get my work around. So it's not that I've sat in business classes or I live a lavish. Alhamdulillah, before I started the charity work, Allah Kareem had blessed me enough. So I used to drive around at one point in a Lamborghini Gallardo convertible. Alhamdulillah.
I remember that.
Yeah. So it wasn't that the charity did this to me. Allah blessed me enough. And obviously now,
in fact, you gave all of that up.
I don't live that lavish life like I used to. Not that people will say something. I don't have no concern when it comes to people. It's always been my connection with God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But generally, it's never been about lavish. I lived a lavish lifestyle and I moved away from the lavish lifestyle. I found myself in this.
I remember when you had the black
Evoque Range Rover brand new one. Yeah. And nobody else really had that version at the time. It was a tinted blacked out version.
Why did you give that away? And you said, look, there's been some people been talking about the fact that I'm using money, the charity money, to get my car.
Because I was newly started at that time. But prior to that, I had a Lamborghini Gallardo 06 plate.
Yeah.
But I'm just generally saying is, I've had this lavish lifestyle and Allah's blessed me, but I found myself, and I always say this, the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. That's the only way one can find themselves. And I found myself, and I found that there was no need of my lavish lifestyle. I live a perfectly fine lifestyle. I live a happy lifestyle, and I'm happy with what I have.
That's it, and that speaks volumes.
Yeah, and I make dua for every other founder of a charity that Allah guides them. And those who think that from charity money you'll become rich, it's never the case. Allah is the only one that'll make you rich, and it's the only route that we're supposed to be going down. And He's the only one that can make everything happen.
Definitely.
And we all believe this, but we don't understand it. It's like we all believe this. That at the end, the decision is from Allah.
That's it.
From God. Yes?
Yep.
Never mind what religion you come from. We believe this. Our people of faith believe that whatever decision it is from God. Yep. So then, if you are looking after the people of God, your means and your jobs, whatever are left, will get done anyway, because the last decision is where? God's.
Definitely.
But it's just the way we if we open our eyes and see exactly how it's supposed to happen, we can make life changes.
Yeah.
But it takes a lot.
It takes a lot. It takes
a lot of sacrifices, a lot of time.
Yes, family times, and you
gotta
have a very understanding family.
Yeah. And I'm praise to Allah Kareem, I'm proud that is the case with me. Alhamdulillah, they've backed me. They've been there. It's a difficult task overall, even for the kids. My kids have grown up. I haven't seen my kids growing up.
Yeah.
Seeing that itself, my Ibrahim was 5 years old when I started charity work. Now he's 13. I haven't seen Ibrahim growing up. I've been on Skype, on Skype conversations, but I've made these sacrifices for the needs of humanity, for the needs of others.
And now he's joined you.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. That's not only
and that's
now,
probably just the best ever feeling.
Yeah, it was the best. Even prior to this, we were in town. Whenever we walked around town, we used to go first, buy sandwiches from Tesco's, and then give. Well, now everybody says boycott Tesco's, but back then I'm talking about we used to buy sandwiches from Tesco's, give them out to the homeless. I showed him the way, like even his toys, he used to go and give them to Acorns, whatever toys that he never used to use, he used to give to Acorns Hospice. So he's seen this at a young age. Even the whole PlayStation situation, I was doing some wood fire for Syria. We did quite a few schools inside Syria. So I was providing wood fire, and I was speaking to him on the phone. He's like, Dad, what are you doing? I was like, I'm arranging some wood fire for the winter. So he's like, how are you getting it? I said, we're doing it by truck. He says, how much is a truck? I said, the truck's about £170. So he says to me, Dad, I'll donate a truck. So I says to him, Ibrahim, were you not saving money for a PS5? And his answer to me is like, Dad, but this is more important than a PS5. And at that time, he was 11. He's 13 now. Or 12, was he? So I said, okay, no problem. I'll get one truck for you. And I said, look, let's do this. Let's do a deal. Now that you've done this, I'll buy you the PS5. Yeah, so you have a win-win situation. You give it to charity and you receive a PS5. He said, well, Dad, the rest of the money I don't need, whatever else I've saved, if that's the case, give that towards a wood fire as well. But I'm generally saying they pick
up the actions.
They pick up what you do. It's the actions. You know, we give a lecture they don't pick.
No.
It's the actions that you do and how you want to serve humanity, and the pain that you have for others and humanity itself matters. And you show that to your children, that it's all about serving the needs of others, and God will serve your needs.
See, even though you weren't there physically watching him grow up in those precious years where they pick up all of this, in the back of his head, he knew that my dad was doing something
on the ground. He's seen me. He's seen the work that I used to do. I used to send videos back home. You know, he's seen the work that I did, how I went about things, and alhamdulillah, he's picked up a lot. That's and amazing. Now even my little daughter Zainab, she's just now, I think we went to a restaurant one of the days, and somebody from Tesco's walked in with a Tesco top, and she's like, "Dad, boycott." I was like, "No, not them." She's like, "Dad, boycott." I was like, "No, Zainab, please be quiet." Yeah, so
there's time and place for everything.
Yeah, there's a time and a place for everything.
This is family time. Let's just enjoy it.
Dad, boycott.
I'm going back out tomorrow. I won't be back for 2 months.
Yeah, it's been like that. Like sometimes I've been out. Like when the earthquake happened in Turkey, I was gone for 3 months. I came back after 3 months. I came back after Ramadan.
You were in Burma as well, weren't you?
Rohingya. We were serving the Rohingya refugee crisis in Bangladesh. I was in Cox's Bazar, an area called not Pangani, Kataplong, serving the refugee crisis. We had a medical camp there for 11 months. We were working alongside Doc Mobile from Germany. We had medical doctors. We ran about a team of I think the maximum we had is about 11 in the team of doctors serving the Rohingya refugee crisis.
Volunteers are from that region.
Volunteers.
You don't take anyone with you, do you?
We have volunteers, doctors we have.
Yeah.
So one of our oldest pediatrician doctor is Dr. Aiden from America. Then we have a few doctors. We had Dr. Emily. We had a few doctors from the UK. We had a few doctors from Germany. But mostly it's people actually on the ground. It works out better. But what I have realised, Nasa, after Turkey, is that sometimes it's better to pay and get the job done.
Yeah.
This is not being nasty or mean, but rather than dealing with volunteers, because everyone's different. You know, somebody probably needs a nail clipper, and somebody needs a beard brush to brush their beard in the morning. You'll get loads of people with different requests, and you think, we're out here serving humanity, emergency crisis, but people don't have that understanding. So sometimes it's better paying and getting a job done rather than having the volunteers and then carrying the volunteers, which takes a lot of time off your hands as well. It's good. Volunteers are good, but sometimes it's good to get paid people and get the job done.
Yeah.
I realised that in Turkey.
I mean, yeah, I suppose. We're going to take a quick break. Welcome back, folks, to the episode with Faz. And moving on to the main event. Now, Faz, you've been to many places around the world. And obviously, you mentioned that Gaza was the first place that you did your charity work.
In 2014, yes.
2014. What's the difference then and now?
See, in 2014, it was a difficult situation. You know, we had children, you know, we were doing mass burials of children at that time as well. We had, 17 to 18 funerals a day that we were reading. We were on the borders of Rafah. It was easier getting to the borders at that time, to be honest with you. There's not as many restrictions as there is now. And even then, at the time, we were doing medical supplies through Arab Medical Union. We were supplying medical supplies inside. We had Yusuf Hassan, which was working on that side at the time. Now Yusuf Hassan is in the UK at the moment. Mm-hmm. So he was in Gaza. His family's still there. We were doing a lot of work. So once the aid would be received inside, we had Yusuf Hassan confirming that the aid was received. But it was nothing like what's happening now. What's happening now, it's, to be honest with you, there's nothing or no words I can say to explain the situation and exactly what's happening on the ground at the moment. It's completely ruthless behavior of anybody. Look, for me, it doesn't matter what your religion you come from, you know, where you're from, or, you know, your ethnic background. As long as you bleed red and you're human, I have a heart for you. And it's And it's not only, like I've served many other countries before, many other nationalities, many other religions I've served in the past.
You served in Poland as well.
We've served in Poland for the
conflict,
Ukraine crisis. But even that, when we were serving in Lebanon, there was Christian community. We were actually in Karatina when the bomb blast happened. We concentrated on the whole of the Christian community because nobody else was doing it. And I said, look, all our focus will be on the Christian community. So it was never been about religion for me. It's never been about religion. But to have and see situations where it's beyond genocide. It's like people using the word genocide, and I think that's even not strong enough to use for what's happening in Gaza at the moment. You've got people that were trying to live normal lives, and everything's been more than... Look, media might not even tell you, there were more than 46 to 45% of Gaza is now destroyed.
Wow.
People are living normal lives. Hamas, everybody's going on, and this is all I hear. It's a war against Hamas. But NASA, without getting political, how many people have you actually seen that have been caught or have been killed? How many do you see? All you see is the civilians. You see innocent children, you see civilians. Hamas was only created in 1987. The greatest issue that we have is I'm not political, but I read I'm historic. I learn history. Yeah, I've read historical books and history books, history itself. And when you look at it, there was no Hamas before 1987, and this war has been going on longer before than 1987.
Then October 7th.
Than the October the 7th. It's been 70 years, near enough 70 years. And the whole situation, the Balfour Declaration, nobody understands the Balfour Declaration. Nobody understands how we took these people on, how Palestine itself took these people on, homed them, gave them land. And the main thing, if you look into the Torah and the actual Jews, we don't have a problem with the Jewish community. The Jews don't believe that they should own land. It tells them in their Torah that no land belongs to them.
Exiled from the land.
Exiled from any land. So it's not even about any religion here. And I don't understand. It's always been, every war that I've seen, whether it's in Iraq, whether it's the Syrian war, it's always been about power. It's always been about land. It's always been about oil. It's always been about gold, fuel, gas. And that's what these wars are about. And the whole situation is nothing but a gas supply. Or like Iraq, we went in, we came back out, and we put our hands up and said, we made a mistake. They never had any nuclear weapons. But how can you just come out and say, sorry, we made a mistake? And that's what's going to happen here. Tomorrow they're going to come back and apologize to us. How can you just give a simple apology by destroying so many families, killing off so many civilians, and then coming out and saying, sorry, it was a mistake? And this is a history being repeated. The Iraq situation is in front of our face. What happened out of it? The one that went out and declared war against Iraq was honored in this country.
Yeah.
And I'm not being political. I'm just overall saying we need to open up. We need to understand exactly what's going on. And a lot of people have. Current situation, people have understood that, look, really, the whole world is not controlled by any world leader. We all know it's a Zionist regime, and it's controlled by the Zionist regime. The whole world, we have the Rothschild banking system, everything else that goes with it.
Yeah.
And even people likings, not that I'm a supporter of anybody, but I'm generally saying you have the names of Saddam Hussein, you have the names of Gaddafi. What the statements, every statement that they gave before they died, today we're in the same situation. The Gaddafi last statement that he gave in United Nations, if you listen to the statement, he said, look, they killed Saddam like that. What's going to happen tomorrow to me and you? They're going to come for everyone. But it's not... Leaving politics out of it, it's completely ruthless. Nobody should be doing this. Nobody should be killed in this way. There should not be any war. We shouldn't be fueling any war, whether that's in Russia, Ukraine, any part of the world, Gaza, Syria, wherever it is. There shouldn't be any war. We shouldn't be aiding war. We shouldn't be funding war. And the greatest problem that we have today is we live in countries that are funding war. And we have a situation, we were talking about homeless people. We have a situation in this country where homeless people are dying on the streets. We had somebody dying in the city centre just last week in the Pigeons Park. The guy was just found dead, homeless. We haven't got money to serve our own people. We haven't got money to home our own people. We haven't got money to feed our own people, yet we have money for war. How does this work? It doesn't. It's not the right way. It's not the way to go about it. And I've been crying out about this for most of my life. It's not the way to go about it. Every single life matters. Every single child matters. And this is the mentality that we're supposed to have. So it's not about religion. It's not about fighting for Palestinians. It's fighting for human rights. We're supposed to have human rights. We live in a country, well, now that declares human rights. We know the history of every country. We know the history of the British Empire and the Ottoman Empire and the Moorish empires and the Roman empires. But today we're talking about human rights. But then we need to act upon it. We can't just pick up one point of human rights and leave the rest of it. You have the United Nations screaming out for a ceasefire. Nothing is coming out of it. And then you have big countries. You have countries like United States of America. You have countries like Austria that are there saying, no, we're voting against the ceasefire. And then you have United Kingdom itself abstaining. How does this work? What voice do we have? How many people will it take to be out on the streets? Look at London. Those protests. We had one of the largest protests, even though the media said it wasn't. But yeah, it was. We had, I think it was that 1 million march.
Yeah, it was over a million. Yeah.
But the media was saying, 100, 200, 300,000 people attended. But I'm saying, how many people do you want screaming out towards this?
Exactly.
Is
it supposed to be a number to reach before it's considered?
It's beyond me.
Because if it is, then I'm sure we can get to that number.
Every sane person can see that this is not war. Every sane person can see.
I always say, and I've always said, war happens when there's two equal sides.
Yeah.
Right?
There's two equal armies. Sides, and that's war.
There's two armies, like Ukraine-Russia conflict. There's two sides with full...
And then you've got people saying, why did Hamas attack in the first place? You have people like this, don't you?
Yeah.
Why did Hamas... What do you mean? This is not now. This is not the 7th of October. Mm. How would you feel if you were caged for more than 70 years? At some point, you will lose it. You know, in Allahumma sabirin, yes, we're supposed to do sabr and be patient in our lives, yes. But everything has a limit to it.
Yeah.
You know, how much pressure can we take? Somebody goes across the road, swears as once... We react straight away over one swear in this country. Somebody just not even swears or just pulls something for you and we react. So these people have been tortured for more than 70 years, caged for more than 70 years. You're going to see some kind of reaction from them. But then the kind of reaction that they're showing that they did, I don't even see that possible coming down in parachutes. You know,
impossible.
The stuff that the media is showing you, it doesn't even make any common sense. And the biggest problem is that we have in this day and age, nobody's using common sense. We have media, we have this box in the corner.
It's not common anymore.
Yeah, it's not common anymore. We have this box in the corner of the house. We watch it, whatever it says, we listen to it.
We believe it, yeah.
And we believe it.
But when you question it, you become conspiracy theorist.
Or you become a terrorist supporter. You know, they'll label you by being a terrorist. Yeah, they'll label you with so many labels. Just because you're there speaking for the right of people.
There's nothing else.
Yeah, and it's all about I said it's human rights. Yeah. Everybody has rights. And every child has rights. Every adult has rights. Nobody's different. Whatever color you are, you're not different. You're human. You bleed red.
It's the world's gone crazy, you know.
It's beyond crazy. As I said to you, I have no words for it. Honestly, I know I'm sitting here on a podcast.
You've been there.
I have no words for this. I have no words for this genocide.
You've been to northern Gaza yourself this time around?
Not this time around. 2014. This time, as I said to you before, they've not made it very easy. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So when you get to Al Arish, they won't let you pass. And even when we're doing the aid, Nasser, we need to understand this. A lot of people at the start came out and said, but the aid's not getting in. You might have heard...
Okay, I'm going to come to that. That's my question.
Yeah. Can I just finish on this one, though?
Yeah.
Regarding go on the aid and then we'll come back to this.
Okay, my question is, how does your organization address the immediate needs of individuals and families in Gaza, considering the ongoing challenges in the region?
So, at the moment, as an organization, it's pillar to post. Yeah, that's how we are. It's like we're going to one direction and that's blocked. We're moving to another direction, that'll be blocked off. But originally, the main reason we found it a little easy is because we've been actively on the ground prior to this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have people inside Gaza. We have a team inside Gaza. We have people that we've known for many years inside Gaza that can help us. And then we have the hospital, the reports, we've concentrated on medical equipment and medicine itself, which we received direct lists from Nasser Hospital, Khan Younas Hospital, and there's Tunisian hospital. We had lists that we went by. So once we did purchasing in Cairo, in Qasr al-Aini. Qasr al-Aini is one of the largest pharmaceutical supplying area in the whole of Cairo. Yeah, so we did the same purchasing in 2014 from there as well.
Yeah.
So we did purchasing. We've got Dr. Said, who's been with us on the grants, and we've known him for 10 years. He worked with us back then. He has a hospital in Al Arish, which we arranged just in case the casualties did come this way, so we'll have a hospital to treat them at. So yeah, we arranged aid. And then we worked alongside with ARC in the past. We provided them lists of aid that we were providing them. They repacked them, they stamped the list, say this been received, and then they arranged once the borders were open. But originally you had people saying, oh, the aid's not getting in. This is a very common thing that was going around. I arrived in Cairo on the 16th of October. We started distribution inside on the 13th of October, daily distributions. It started on the 7th of October. 13th of October, we started our daily distributions. And the 16th of October, I arrived in Cairo to arrange the deployment for medical supplies to go in. Now, while I was there, same thing. I was getting the phone calls. Oh, you're raising for money. How are you going to get in it? It's not... This whole concept, and honestly, it's an Israeli propaganda. Yeah, what happens in Nasa, every time there's a conflict, they will say, we're not letting aid in. Yeah. So what happens then? As soon as they say we're not letting aid in, people will not donate, because if aid's not getting in, what are they donating towards? Okay. But what people don't understand, the strategic planning behind this, when the borders are open, what are you going to do?
There's nothing there?
There's nothing there. You haven't raised anything, so there's no donations.
Wow.
This is only when you worked in the field and you know how the mines work, you can understand this. But
wow.
People, the public will say, oh no, we can't donate because there's nothing going in. Up until now, people are saying there's nothing going in. When we witness things going in, and how we witness is because when you get to Rafah, you have the Israeli army. They will provide their own driver that takes the truck off your driver. So your driver stays back. The truck goes in, gets offloaded, and the truck is brought back and handed over to your driver. So you don't have 100% access. But then they'll hand it over to the Palestinian Red Crescent on the other side, and they will make the distribution. And then we have people on the ground that confirm that these items have been received. That's how we are working, and that's how we know that we're actually working on the ground. But this whole concept of the aid is not getting in, it's a clear Israeli propaganda. And just so people don't raise money, just so there's money not raised for Gaza, because at some point, look, you're trying to tell me there's not going to be no ceasefire at all. You're trying to tell me at no point the borders would have opened. Of course they would have opened. The international pressure made this happen.
Yeah.
And it always will. But what people don't understand is if you're going to go by the propaganda, you're not going to have any aid to send in. Even if there is a ceasefire, and even if the borders are open, people won't donate.
That is clever.
And unfortunately, social media world, everybody blind follows. Everybody blind follows.
Do you reckon?
Look, there's organizations out there, and I know of organizations out there, and I was shocked to see screenshots and photoshops of their work, saying that they work inside Gaza when they weren't. They had footage from previously that photoshopped. So there is people, there are organizations that do stuff like this, but there's genuine organizations that are working on the ground and want to get the job done and are solely there to get the job done. And we need to support them. And it's always better supporting small organizations than big organizations. Because the bigger you are, the more fees, the more admins, the more expenses, the more overheads you have. And that's why I've always said, I've always wanted UCF to stay small. We do stay small and clean.
Definitely. There's no headache.
Yeah, there's no headache. There's no overhead. There's just a simple route. We keep running it and we operate where we can and do as much as we can.
And mashallah, you're doing a lot.
So this year's going to be 10 years.
Wow.
2013 to 2023 is 10 years. And we were just looking at figures of beneficiaries. And it's about 3.4 million beneficiaries in this time. And alhamdulillah, I think that's a very generous and a great amount of people that we have reached in 10 years. It's nice and clean.
Yeah, nice and no headache. Yeah, anyone can come and check anything. Yeah.
And even that, I tell people, I said, look, I don't need your money. Raise your money, come out with me on the ground and spend it with your own hands. We don't want your money. We want the job to be done. So whoever can, you're more than welcome to come out. You're more than welcome to join us on the ground, help us, put with the packaging, with the parcels, with the distribution, by all means, and bring your own money out and spend your own money with your own hands, so you know exactly where your money is going.
That's amazing. That's a very good way of keeping everything clean.
Yeah,
because you don't have you're not
simple.
accountable for anything then.
That's what I put on these water pumps. Let's just talk about water pumps, yeah? I do a water pump, and how do you know where your water pump is? I will give you a geotag by Google, and that geotag will take you to the exact location of where your pump is installed. This is how clear I want to be with things. Our orphanages, when you sponsor an orphanage, you get a Skype account, safeguarded with a teacher. You can directly interact with that child every day or every week to see where he's at, what he's been doing, where his work at, how much homework he's had. Interaction, direct interaction. So people can see the work and they know what they're paying for. These are very important points.
See, that's really good. With a larger organization,
Yeah, you don't have that direct interaction.
You won't get that.
And I always provide direct interaction. You're part of this group, and I must do your heading most of the time. When I send, I've got a broadcast when I send everything, and we have a direct interaction to say, look, this is what we're doing, and look, it's not easy. Yeah, it's like basically I'll have like 999 plus WhatsApp messages. I wake up to like sometimes like 1200 emails. It's not easy doing it, direct interaction, but it needs to be done so people understand where the donations are going, and it's very important.
Wow.
And I'm all about accountability. I'm all about fulfilling my responsibility and providing the visibility.
That's amazing.
It's the best way to be. Clear
Definitely.
And simple.
100%. You got no one to answer to.
So you can go back to all of your friends and give them my number, and they can come and see all the lavish and my wages and my CEO wages that I've been having over the past 10 years. I've been wearing these same boots that are here for 5 years now. But yeah,
Dr. Martin's doing the job.
They're amazing. I paid them once. The steel toe cap. I paid them once, and they work and they run.
That's it. Tell me how difficult it is at the moment. Have you been to the border yourself at the moment?
So border, yes, towards Al Arish. But again, as I said to you, it's Al Arish, but you'll be stopped at. You're not going to be going any further than Al Arish. There's no way you're going to get close to the borders of Rafah and get footage from there. It doesn't happen, yeah. Unless, obviously, you're from the United Nations, one of the head of United Nations, or, even Kuwait. The Ameer of Kuwait requested this, and he was rejected as well, to go to the borders of Rafah. So they're not allowing any and everybody to go to the borders.
Why is that?
Now, there's a lot of rumors.
Is it like, is it a security threat?
It's a security threat. However, if you're local and you're Egyptian, then you can go. No problem. It's like my driver goes up when the truck, he follows the truck. He follows it up all the way to Rafah. Because he's got an Egyptian nationality, he's fine. If you're a foreigner, it's not going to be happening. It's not possible. Unless you give up your passport to go. But then how do you get back? but that's the situation.
Wow. Tell me.
So they've made it really difficult this time. A lot more difficult than before. There's no organization that has a distribution video from inside. Sent from Rafah. If it's sent from Cairo, if you're sending items from Cairo, you haven't got no footage from Gaza inside. We've got feeding footage. That's because we've been priorly doing that, so we've already got the setup there.
Yes.
But the items that we're sending from Rafah, so from Cairo or Egypt, if you ask me for us, have you got any footage of these items inside? I haven't. It's not possible. Yes, I have got people to confirm that the items have been received. I've got doctors that I'm talking to in the hospital saying that yes, this items have been received or these packs have been received. Yes, but I've got no physical footage of this and I can't get it and I don't ask for it. And there's people that said to me, Nasa, that we want footage from inside. I said, look, how do you expect me to get you footage from a war zone? If that's the case, don't donate.
Yeah.
We need to understand the circumstances as well.
Of course, it's not normal donation.
It's not a normal crisis like we were in Morocco and Turkey. It's totally different situation.
Yeah, of
Even
course.
then, Ummah Care Foundation, alhamdulillah, I don't know if you've noticed this, we don't show faces of beneficiaries. We show faces of kids, which is fine, but we never show any faces of adults or beneficiaries. Even in our Rawalpindi post, you'll see on our post every day, they do a feed in Rawalpindi every day, you'll see people's feet, but you will never see any faces of the ladies. And same, the dignity of the beneficiaries, the must. And this is something I've put in place, and I've put this in place after hearing a Syrian child in Lebanon singing, "Do you have anything hidden between you and God?" The day I was doing a distribution, and that hit me. I thought to myself, you know what? He's not come up and he's not sang this for no reason. He sang this to direct something at me. His exact words is there any of your kind and good deeds hidden between you and God?
That you need to show everyone. Yeah.
There's a whole nasheed, what he did. I'll send it to you, and it was heart touching. And after that, I've never done it again. I've never showed any beneficiary faces. And people said to me, "You won't raise any money." People said to me, "If you don't show faces, people won't believe you." I said, "I don't care. It doesn't bother me."
If he needs to stop, he can stop.
The risk that is written for them is 100%. written. And if there's nobody going to donate to my charity, don't donate.
Yeah. Because if it's meant to stop, it'll stop.
Yeah.
If it's meant to carry on, it'll carry on. Flourish. It'll carry on. It'll do
because you believe in God.
Yeah.
The last concept is that, and the whole belief is that we believe in God, that He's the provider. So who am I to say that, you know, my charity will raise money or not? Whatever is written, the risk, it will be provided, it will be donated, and they will receive it.
100%.
Because it's written for them.
Yeah.
And we believe in this.
Very strongly, you know, it's part of our faith.
We believe in this.
But
we have issues in this day and age, you know. People, you know, like it clearly states, you have the stone, and you break the stone and you find the ant inside the stone. And Allah says, if I can feed this ant inside the stone, why do you doubt me? There's no hole through this stone. But yet when you crack open a stone, you'll always see in the garden, sometimes you'll pick up a stone, there's no holes to it. You'll crack it on the floor, you'll open it, you'll see ants inside it. Allah says, I feed those ants inside the stone.
Yeah.
So how do you not believe that I won't feed you?
Amazing.
Yeah?
When you think of it.
Logically. Just that itself is a very small example. The stone and the ants inside. You know, it's common. People see, we used to see it all the time when breaking stones as kids.
Yeah.
But no holes. But yet they get fed. But this is faith.
Yeah.
But this is what we are losing in today. And this is probably one of the main reasons why we're stuck in so many dilemmas and pickles.
Do you reckon this is all happening because of us and how we are?
No.
Because
there's a very famous... I know you're into poetry, and today we're not about poetry, but I'm going to say this in Urdu first, and then translate it if you allow me. Is this okay?
Yeah.
So, they say, जो कुछ भी है, अपने हाथों के ही हैं करतूत.
Yeah.
Whatever it is today, is all doings of your own hands. जो कुछ भी है, अपने हाथों के ही हैं करतूत, शिकवा है ना ज़माने का, ना किस्मत से ये गिला है. शिकवा है ना ये ज़माने का. I have no, you know, why am I going to start making excuses and saying this is because of this reason or this world that I live in, or शिकवा है ना ज़माने का, ना किस्मत से ये गिला. People say, oh, my fortune is bad, I have bad luck. No, it's not. Yeah. So none of this is part of it. शिकवा है ना ज़माने का, ना किस्मत से ये गिला है. देखे हैं ये दिन हमने अपनी ही गफलत के बदौलत.
How true is that in this
देखे हैं ये दिन हमने अपनी ही गफलत के बदौलत. सच है कि बुरे काम का अंजाम बुरा है. We've seen these days due to our own actions and our own ways of life, and not having that faith, not having that taqwa. And then we complain. But what we see, when you do bad, you receive bad.
Simple.
And that's life. And there's many times I've even said that, we always make dua and say, Ya Allah mera hal dekh. Why am I in this situation? Why, what? We're always asking the question, why? And I say, jawab aata hai कि पहले अपना नाम व अमाल देख. You're asking God why, but you've never asked yourself why. Why is this happening to me? Why is within that is happening? Is there something to do with you? Nothing to do with God. God has provided you everything. It's your own actions and your own doings and your own choices of life that you have made that put you into these situations. Today we are weak in the whole world. Look at us. We are crippled. Why? Yeah. Because we have lost faith. There was somebody that said, look, it's about followers on TikTok. We see this, ticks and followers. Muhammad al-Arabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, no Facebook, no Instagram, no TikTok, no Facebook, no website, nothing, how many
Not even a
billions
picture.
around the world, not even an image,
Single
yeah?
image.
And how many billions around the world support and love Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Why? It wasn't because of, it was his character. It was ikhlaq and kirdar that changed people. You know, today we see this, and I'm not going to go into the religious side of things, but today we see, I don't know if you've been to Medina Sharif, in Medina Sharif in Saudi Arabia.
I have, yeah.
You'll see Sufa Sahaba, yeah? It's raised. So the Prophet ﷺ used to sit below and he used to make the Sahaba sit above him. This is humbleness. Where do we see this in the society today? We have all the big and the prestige. We have everybody that wants to show himself, show his own image. He was never like this. We're talking about Rasulullah. They should stand in the heat of the sun speaking to the mad woman. And the Sahaba used to say, why? And he says, is she not human like you and me? You know, these are the actions. And when you have actions like this, then you will receive good reaction. But if your actions are not good, then why are you waiting for good reactions?
Absolutely.
You're not going to receive them.
Wow.
It's a very, you know, even the life itself, you know, the way we take life and the way we live life. Even on this, you know, we've gone into शायरी ना, जिंदगी मौत का निशाना है, हाँ? एक दिन हम सबको यहाँ से जाना है. कोई आए कोई जाए, ये तमाशा क्या है? कुछ समझ में नहीं आता कि ये दुनिया क्या है. And that's what it is. Life is, जिंदगी मौत का निशाना है. Life, once there's life, you know there's going to be death after it. You know they will taste death.
Yeah.
So the sign of life is death.
Yeah.
So as soon as you see somebody born, you know they will die. The sign of life is death. And then the best one he said in this, he says, Kiya tawil safar. I'm not going to carry this on because we're going to go into some poetry. Kiya tawil safar, tune is kafan ke liye. You did all this long journey in this world from start to finish for what? All you have is this white
Shroud.
shroud. That's it. That's what you have. Kabar mein dekh ke roega ki ye kapda kya hai. Then you will sit and then you lie in your grave and cry, what is this cloth? What did I come here for? What have I received and what have I taken? Nothing. Only then you will realize.
And then it's too late.
Then it's too late.
Life is very amazing. But like you said, it's all what you make of it.
What you make of it. And honestly, yeah, I know I'm on your podcast today, and honestly, this is tested and trialed. If you want to live a good life, healthy, wealthy, happy life, the only way that this will happen is when you start serving the needs of others before yourself.
Yeah.
That's the only way. I promise you, there is no other way of this. Only when you start to live for the needs of others, for the happiness of others, for the goodness of others, you will receive. And you will receive that much in many ways that you will be content for the rest of your life.
Definitely.
But this is the only way.
Tell me a bit about... We went a bit off topic there.
Yeah, sorry.
Tell me a bit about your the kitchen up in North Gaza that was providing, 2,000 meals a day?
So we started off with... first day we did, on the 13th of October, we did 600 meals. Mm-hmm. Then we went to 1,000 meals. And then we were serving 2,000 meals in Jabaliyah. So Jabaliyah, we had a center, Jabaliyah center. And we were cooking from there. Now we no longer have a kitchen.
How did that get destroyed? Did it get destroyed by the bombs?
By the bombs. So basically our kitchen is destroyed. We've lost 3 people of our team in this time. So the kitchen is completely destroyed. So now we're cooking in the streets of North Gaza. And similar, we've set up now a kitchen in South Gaza, not far from Younas. We did the first feed there on the 8th of December. The first feed there. And we'll continue in the south. And that's 1,000. So currently...
Hasn't that gone up to the 2,000 now?
So 2,000 in north and 1,000 in south in the new kitchen that we started.
Okay.
So now we've got 2 kitchens. You're still looking at the one kitchen.
No, because I know
second
the
kitchen
second kitchen,
yeah.
and it was probably 1,000. I thought it was 2,000 there.
1,000 in the second kitchen and 2,000 in the first kitchen. So 3,000 meals every day, which is costing us £7,500 every day.
Wow.
every day.
7,000.
£1,500 daily. So look, 2.5 is one meal, £2.50. Yeah, 2,000 meals is 5,000. 3,000 meals is 7,500 every day. This is our daily cost.
And where are people getting the ingredients from? Because we were hearing that there's shortage of things and there's no food coming in.
Now we're struggling in Khan Younas for rice at the moment. I just got a call today that we've managed to buy 4 bags of rice. So we are struggling, but we are trying to send 4 bags of rice, the 20 kilo ones. We only managed to get that, and they travel like for hours and hours just to get 4 bags. So now we've spoke to ERC and we can start sending in food. So we will be sending non-perishable food in. And we're not going to do any fancy food parcels like every other charity does, puts it there for the photoshops and all that. No, we're doing winter packs. We will box them, but we're doing winter packs and we're doing essential food items that are required inside. But that's how it's been getting in, and that's what we've been doing to get it. We are here to do the job, and we will continue doing the job, inshallah. And we're here for a good cause.
So is that okay for me to keep
I said this for you. For me, I'm open and free. I will say how it is. I have no filter anyway.
Because whoever's going to listen to it, they will understand the hardship.
But people need to understand. The difficulty behind the scenes. People, as I said, you pillar to post. It's like being pillar to post. Like trying to go this direction, trying to make a better direction of serving in a better way, and then we get pushed back. It's been non-stop.
What was the worst time in this conflict that you've had? You thought, what is going on?
At the moment, because I've not heard of my team from the 30th of November.
You haven't heard anything?
No. I've not, and today's the 13th of December. I've not heard from them for 13 days.
Nearly 14 days now.
Yeah, 13 days. 15 days. So yeah, this is probably the worst. I've not heard from any of them since the 30th of November. That's the last videos I received. And I've not heard nothing from them. All my messages just one tick. And I can't get through to any other phones. So I don't know what the situation is there. That's why the South Kitchen I set up straight away, thinking we've got to do something on the feeding side, because I have not heard nothing from them since the 30th of November.
From the north side?
Yeah, north side.
The South is okay?
South is okay, but South has been heavily bombed yesterday as well. One of the houses that we were serving behind got bombed as well. Kareem, her name is. She was supposed to be doing the videos for us in English. She's nowhere to be seen or found. Yeah. So as I said to you, the situation changes on every not every day, every hour.
Every hour.
Yeah, every hour the situation changes. You don't know.
So how's
you plan something else. There's no planning that you can actually do in this situation.
Go.
Yeah, and that's how I'm working at the moment. It's like non-stop. It's like sleep. What's that? Like it's actually non-stop, on the move.
Wow, this is. See, when we watch videos and watch or hear certain things, it's okay. Obviously, you see children and women and men go through all of that, and then you see babies, dead baby. But listening.
There's a 2014 a child died in my arms. 2014.
Listening from you firsthand, it's a different feeling, because it's something that you are going through.
It's been 10 years. I've seen nothing but blood. I've seen nothing but bodies. I've seen nothing but mass burials. I've seen bodies on the coast of Lesbos, deteriorated faces, have been drowned by these dengue tubes that they've been coming through. Bodies upon bodies, blood in Iraq. Snipers firing at 500 yards when we're trying to move away kids with bulletproof jackets, running around with kids trying to save them. Because they think inside Syria, the situation of Syria itself in many areas. But yeah, that's what it's been. It's been a bloodbath. And blood is very cheap, and life is very cheap at the moment. It has no value anymore. And this is the world that we live in. There's no value to life. There's no value to blood. And that's all I've seen in the past 10 years is blood. And innocent lives being destroyed.
How does that make you feel?
Look, initially at the start, it was a very difficult time for me because it was all new. I'm not going to say like a doctor, I'm used to it now. But it's difficult every time it happens. And as I said at the start, when you said why and how, it's become an addiction serving humanity. It's like I can't stop. It's like I'm here, and if I can't do anything, I've got a problem about it. I can't sit, I start fidgeting. I need to do something. I feel like I've been chosen to do this job and chosen as a servant, and I feel like I'm honored to be chosen as a servant to do this job. And I will continue, and inshallah, as long as I can, with the loyalty, Allah keep me a loyal servant. But I'm on a mission, and it's become an addiction as well. I believe in putting smiles on people's faces. I believe in trying to make life better for anybody and everybody. And I've never said no. And alhamdulillah, I pray that it stays this way. Even at our institutes, wherever we are in Turkey, in Pakistan, we have rice, we have lentil. Whoever comes to our door doesn't go back empty-handed. The whole concept of UCF is never to say no and never to send anybody away with empty-handed. Because that's the meaning of life. Meaning of human value. But it's been a difficult journey. It's been a very, very difficult journey. And it's been 10 years of it. And I didn't realize it going.
Do you regret it?
I don't regret any. No. I actually I thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for giving me the ability to start it and to do. And Allah keep me loyal to the cause. And that's why I say I don't want to go big. I have no ambition of going big. Even though I think this year UCF will hit its first million in donations. But I had no intentions of this. And even when the money was coming in, I was the one that's panicking, saying to the trustees, we need to stop collecting. Like, what are you talking about? We need to stop collecting. I was like, I'm panicked that I've got all of this amana that needs to get. And I've been panicked throughout and trying to get the amana exactly where it needs to be. Because it's easy. It's not difficult donating. Donating is the easy part of it.
It's using that.
It's utilizing the money and using the money where it's supposed to be going, and where the need is, and where it's supposed and what project it's for, and how you're gonna handle and manage this is a difficult part behind it. And it's amana. It sits on your head. It sits on your head, not knowing. God forbid something happens to me. What am I gonna do with this amana? Or how this needs to be spent? It's a massive responsibility.
Yeah.
And nobody understands that the one that actually has the responsibility. So there's not one thing here. There's you have your reports, you have your charity commission reports, and then you have your ground reports, then you have your calculations of your balances. You need to balance up. Then you're doing your videos on the ground. Then you're trying to raise the money as well. It's not an easy task. And for a fact, alhamdulillah, we have a good team behind. And now we have Anna, who's quite active on the ground. She's actually moved to Turkey. We run a disabled centre for Syrian children in Turkey. Children with disabilities, provide physiotherapy for them. And she's been on the ground now for 2 years. She left her job for this. So the team's getting stronger. And Haji Tariq just came back today from Cairo. He was there. So the team's becoming active. But for a long time, it's been a one-man show. And obviously we've got people behind the scene that do a lot of work and make it happen, but underground it's been a one-man show, and it's been a difficult one.
Wow. Well, we pray and hope Allah makes it easy for you.
Ameen ya Rabbal Alameen.
You continue to do good for the community.
Ameen ya Rabbal Alameen.
And one last question: what would you say to everyone who has donated to you?
I keep saying this: none of the charitable work would be possible without the blessings of Allah Kareem and our donors. Our donors play a massive part in this, and honestly, many people have seen it now, and we've received a lot of donations for this project, and people have actually seen it. The work has spoke volume itself, and I thank each and every one of them who has made this possible, and has made the past 10 years possible for UCF, for us to continue the work on the ground. And rest assured that every single penny that you've donated has gone to the right cause, and inshallah will continue going to the right cause.
Inshallah.
And as long as I live and breathe, I will make sure of this. And we're all humans. We make mistakes. I've made mistakes in my life. I made decisions that I shouldn't have made, and sometimes you regret decisions. But we all try our best, and we're here for one reason, and that's to serve humanity, inshallah.
Inshallah. And one last advice for the community, the Muslim community, all communities in this day and age, that what we are going through, what would you say to those communities in our household, in our areas, who don't talk to each other, who have problems within their families, because let's be real, we have that problem in our society, in our communities. Brothers don't talk to brothers, over petty little things, over land. There's killing. The Muslims are killing Muslims.
There's only one simple answer to your
question.
question.
Would you say to, because you know what, we all shout about, freeing Palestine, having all of these, Kashmir and wherever there's a problem, but we have problems in our homes which we do not address first. And that is like it or not.
There's one reason behind this.
But do you know where I'm coming from?
Know where you're coming from, and there's one reason. We need to stop chasing the world. We need to stop chasing the world. This is where the issues lie. This is where the issues begin, and this is where the issues end as well. Everything that you have mentioned is the worldly desire.
Yeah,
it's all to do with the dunya. It's all temporary. It's all here. It's not going to go with us. We need to stop chasing the world. We need to look after the minutes and let the hours take care of themselves.
Yeah.
We are too busy looking after hours and days and future planning. We don't know. Blink of an eye, you will leave this dunya. And then everybody come, no matter whether they're talking to you or not, then they'll come and cry. They'll make dua for you. But it's too late. Spend that little time of happiness that you have in the world and be kind. Be generous with your own loved ones. You say we have these problems in our own households because we don't understand that charity does start at home. Mm-hmm. And this is a great charity, smiling, bringing families together. It's like in our Khandan itself, we've had old disputes that I've gone out myself to deal with myself, and I've been the mediator there to try and resolve these situations. So this is what we should do. We should try and bring people together. Rather than moving them apart. If there's an issue, they say make an excuse for the brother. And this is in this day and age, we have a problem with this. We don't make excuses. If we see something, try and make an excuse for them. Try and cover it for them. Because what we need to understand, Nasa, is if Allah unveils us today, we will not be able to show no faces to nobody.
Absolutely.
I'm Mr. Feraz Younis here from charity. I'm a sinner. I've got so many bad deeds of mine. I've done so much bad in my own life that I feel like I'm a sinner. Because I feel like I'm the worst of creation at times. But that's me personally. But what I'm saying is, we need to ask for forgiveness. We need to come back to the right ways.
Yeah.
And we need to let go of grudges and bring people together. And hide people's sins, 100%. Rather than exposing. This is a very important message, and I always say this: we need to hide people's sins rather than exposing them.
Yeah. See, what I believe is like 100%. That's, I couldn't agree more with you on that. And if we look after our families, bring our families together, our communities will come together, our cities will come together. And can there be anyone who can take over someone's land?
It's not possible.
Like what is happening in Palestine now?
It would never be possible.
Reason why this is happening now.
If we became stronger together.
Exactly.
The division wasn't there. Today we have division. How much division do we have today?
Millions.
We call each other kafir.
Yeah.
This happens, huh?
Yeah.
All the time. We need to move away from division. We need to unite. We need to come together.
Once we are united from our homes into our communities, our cities, there's no one in the world who can come and take your land like that.
It's a simple thing. Now, somebody says to me that, oh, look, we're waiting for Mehdi. Mehdi will come. We will unite.
So what are you doing?
No. It was Imam. He kept saying Imam Mehdi is going to come and we're going to do this. I said to me, sorry, this might sound a bit ruthless, but the Imam waits for you 5 times a day at your local masjid and you can't get to him.
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah? 5 times a day, the Imam waits for you, Iqama, at your local masjid. And when you can't reach your local Imam, why are you even talking about Mehdi when Mehdi comes?
Yeah.
We are not We're weak. Just this last statement. It's been going on to more than 100 years. We don't have a Khalifa.
Yeah.
Why is this? Have we ever sat back and thought to ourselves, it's because of our own state? How will Allah send us a Khalifa where He knows we will not follow?
Exactly.
People say the only resolution to this is a Khalifa. But we are in no state for a Khalifa. We are in no state of ourselves. They have the famous poet said, and I know I'm bringing poetry back into it, पढ़ पढ़ किताबां आलिम फाजिल होया कदे अपने आप नू पढ़िया नहीं वड़ वड़ मशदां पिया वड़दा है कदे अपने अंदर वड़िया नहीं.
Yeah.
These are the important concepts. Imam Shafi rahmatullah alayhi said, if we concentrated on our own sins, we would never have time to look at any other sins of anybody else. If we only concentrated on ourselves.
Yeah.
So we need to better ourselves. We need to do good for ourselves, good for our families.
And everything else will follow.
And ikhlaq and everything else will follow.
Yeah. Because the problem is, we want to try and fix everyone else's problems, but not our own, because we're perfect. This is the problem.
This is the biggest issue that we have.
The biggest problem.
Me,
that's it. I'm perfect, everyone else is wrong.
Yeah. And there is no such thing as me and I. It's only you, Allah.
That's it. Faz, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you very much for your time. I know you're a busy guy.
Allah bless you. Thank you so much.
And I think it was very important, and I feel like any opportunity that I can get with this kind of situation and the crisis, that I can help get the right message out there.
It's amazing. It's amazing what you're doing, and Allah bless you, and Allah preserve you for what you're doing. And maybe stay loyal to the cause, inshallah. Always.
Absolutely. This is not just.
And remember, it's not about any religion. It's about all mankind, humanity.
Because there's Christians in Gaza.
There's Abdul Sattar Edhi. Somebody says to him, "Why do your ambulances pick up Christians?" Yeah, and his answer was, "Because my ambulances are more Muslim than you are."
Yeah.
Yeah? So it's very important. Let's not look at any religion or any casting system or anything. We are human.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're supposed to understand when well, in the Muslim Ummah, at least when one Muslim hurts, the whole nation should hurt. That's not happening, but generally we're supposed to understand humanity.
Yeah.
And be good to all of every mankind, and every person we're supposed to be good to. And Allah keep us this way, inshallah.
Ameen. Faz, once again, thank you very much. God bless you in everything that you're doing, your family, house. You're doing a great, amazing job, mashallah. And all the best for the future, inshallah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Salam.